who's our next speaker?
معلش انا بعتذر، طلب مني ان انا اعمل presentation totally in English عشان تسجيل هيروح لاسمي on their website. I'll do my best to be clear, and then if you have any questions after the presentation, I'll be happy to answer. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Hanadi Salem. I'm a former graduate of AUC. Actually, I was the last graduate as a material science and engineering from the program, which was later on changed into mechanical engineering. طبعا مش هقول لكم سنة كام يعني. Actually, I got my master's also in material science and engineering and graduated from Texas A&M University from mechanical engineering, where I earned my PhD. And later on, I came back here and I worked at AUC as a full-time professor after 2 years from my PhD, which was earned in 1997. I was lucky to be one of the founders of the Yusuf Jamil Science and Technology Research Center, which is the first nanotechnology center in Egypt and maybe in the Middle East, excluding Israel, Taban. And it's a really big hub for research in nanotechnology. We could also honored to be one of the founders and the director of the nanotechnology master's and PhD program. I was requested to make a presentation to you concerning research for graduates and undergraduates. I will do my best to give you an overview of what's required of you to be a researcher and how would this influence your careers, whether on the practical level or on the academic level. I will give you some kind of an introduction on the need for research and development, how you be able to excel in such fields. I'll give you some success stories about undergraduate students research and graduate student research. Then I will introduce information about the nanotechnology research centers at AUC, which are all housed within the School of Sciences and Engineering. Then I will show you some examples of the kind of research we hold at the SSE under nanotechnology, and within that you'll be seeing different faculty to whom any of you could be linked and interested to work with. I will also talk about collaboration with other universities from all around the world, and national and international recognitions. So let me start with why do we need research and development? It is very important worldwide to lead research and development because it is the leading component, leading part for our economy, whether it's related to developed countries and undeveloped countries or developing countries. Definitely, it's very important at this stage for the developed countries because they really take the innovations, the new technologies, and they put it into application and produce products. There are lots of areas of interest for developed countries, such as energy and water, in which they use high tech in order to solve such problems. Some problems, such as energy for solar cells, for example, Germany has become the leading country, and it's bypassed China into this and became the installing biggest capacity worldwide. Concerning, for example, drug industry, you'll find that US is the one that's leading in that field. and it produces about 40% of the global pharmaceutical market. We have a problem here in Egypt, Middle East, Africa. We're lagging behind, and we all know that. And this is for several reasons. The first one, our moderate quality of education, the large numbers in the universities, the lack of hands-on experience. This has a strong impact on the amount of knowledge we can get. The lack of governmental understanding for talents and brain incubations. We need that from our government, and it's not there at the time. The lack of industrial link with institutes. This is something also we lack, and we have to make sure that we make it stronger. You know that all developed countries, the production, the innovation is all based on industrial, institutional research. Also, ideas are not followed up. Innovations that come from many of us here in this room, for example, they can't find the entity that can host, and accordingly, some or many of them go towards the Death Valley that Dr. Tariq was talking about. Brain drain, this is another issue because all those who have high ambition have ambition to improve, think that we don't have the facility here in Egypt or in Africa in order to use that talent, so they tend to travel abroad, to go seek or pursue higher education abroad, and they never come back. Of course, we don't want that. We need to get back those brains, and we need them to invest in our country. So what would be the responsibility of any of us? Not including us, of course. I'm talking about students, whether on the graduate or undergraduate levels. You need to do your work, you need to do your job, and not to depend on the government, not to depend on your institute. You need to educate yourself. You need to develop your knowledge. You need to acquire more. You need to add different knowledge to your background. We call it lifelong learning. You have to learn how to learn on your own. And this is an endless story. We learn all the time. Do not think that the end of the university, by the 5th year of your career, of your studying, is the end of learning. No, it's maybe the beginning of learning. And you need to know that and to use it to its best. You have to improve your knowledge, and this could be done by doing undergrad or graduate research, or it could be by getting trainings and take courses. These are two different venues for improving yourself, and definitely the first of all would be reading. So the student is responsible to be able to define him or herself as being unique. You have to find out about yourself. What is different? What's the difference between you and your colleague? In what part of knowledge and invention you can excel? You have to discover yourself, and you have to work on it. So there are several steps that I'll be talking about now on how to excel in your life. Number one, acquire new skills. And this is done by taking courses, by reading, by doing research, by having hands-on experience. In fact, I do have some examples here that doesn't have to do with being a mechanical engineer or an entrepreneur. You can actually be a pharmacist who is a graduate student, graduated from National University, developed him or herself by doing graduate research in biotechnology, for example, and they became a postdoc in Qatar Biomedical Research Institute, a postdoc in Zuwail City, a PhD student in high reputable universities across the world. So you can do this by improving your skills. In the field of engineering, which I'm sure is very important to all of you, you can do masters at AUC, pursue a PhD later on in universities like Cambridge, Oxford, Cardiff, MIT, Harvard, McGill, anywhere you would like, depending on how good you are. So you need to be competitive. Then you need to enrich your knowledge by taking courses, by training programs. You need to apply into competitive careers and opportunities, very similar to what Dr. Tariq was talking about and Dr. Khalil. You need to find your ability to be competitive and to excel internationally, regionally, or locally. There are several examples of people who did that and has changed their career totally from being pharmacist or maybe an engineer to businessman. There's no harm in that as long as you can excel in that area. Working on your personal level, what could you do personally to excel? Number one, challenge yourself. You need to know that you could be the best. Don't underestimate your abilities. So you have to make sure that I can do it. So you need to challenge yourself. You need to explore yourself and your abilities to know more about areas unknown to you, and this is what's meant by exploring, lifelong learning, knowing more in other areas that could be of interest in which you will be able to excel better than whatever field that you're in now. Improve your presentation and communication skills. This is very important. It's not helpful by all means to feel that you know a lot, you're innovative, you're brilliant, but you can't actually sell your ideas. You have to be able to do that by improving your communication skills, which is usually in presentation and writing skills.